behind. Hey, the radio, big crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to PTM Racing TV. We're live here tonight for BackFire Sim Racing's Duel of Fates, as we're going to name it here tonight. Duel 1 set to stage, set to go here right now. And we're ready to go on down here as we are getting the drivers situated out for their grading order here for Duel number 1. Here's how our track tech talk looks to be starting here tonight. This is how everything looks to play out here. As the lights are coming on around the stage here, this is how everything will play out. Here's our grading order here for this first episode of the show. We're going to see it here right now down live. This is what it seems to be. Brandon Browning in the 48 has the starting gun to his outside. It'll be Christopher L. Lawrence in the 9. Row 2 is going to be Jeremy Richmond in the 98 is outside the 83 of Harold Bud Barnes II. Row 3 is going to be John Espewalda Jr. in the 46 is outside. It will be Clifford Corrieve. I hope I said your name right. In that 57. All right, row 4 is going to be Noah Owens, and the 15 is outside. It's going to be James Santoyo in the 79. Row 5, Wesley Jeanette in the 74 is outside. Brandon Mascarella in the 27. And the final starters, Zach Woods in the 60 and Simon Morrison in the 34. 13 drivers are staged in this one. They are ready to field them around here, and I do apologize for the lack of an intro or lack thereof on a start. Of course, we were thinking that it was going to be an hour later from now, and that's how things were going to play out. But nope, that was a bad miscommunication on our end, so that's our own fault. We'll admit that up front. Thankfully, we are ready to go here, and thankfully, drivers seem to be ready to go as well. 13 drivers in this first field, and then the next field will come out for Duel number 2. As they bring him around here, base car comes off the track here, lines them up into position, which means it's time to get ready to go racing here. The green flag will fly upwards, which means it's time to hit up the track. Duel number 1 is up and about. Here we go. Starting gun position wise into the turns on a turn 2. Harold Bud Barnes II. Going to field it in around there with Jeremy Richmond, the 98, to give himself the early fight up to the zone. Early advance to Brandon Browning in that Mountain Dew 48 machine. Little Baja Blast in that beast tonight. And I see a code red, number 9 of Christopher L. Lawrence out on the field here as well, working his way in. I think right now a little code red action, nothing to sneeze at, nothing to really sneeze upon here, especially with the way things working here in this field. 40 laps the distance for these drivers, and they've got a long, hard haul to try to survive through and try to go through as well. You would think with how many laps they got and how much position-wise they have, this was more of like a heat race, but no, it's actually the big setup here for when time comes for the actual big race coming up soon enough. As you start to see the drivers just kind of maintaining their area, playing, looking for a run early on. They're not going to try to make too many big mistakes out there and too many big issues. You see Brandon Mascarella having problems there in the 27. He's going to go back into the back here a little bit. Swinging it down onto the front stretch they go. Some solid runs from many, some solid battles from others right now. Still, everyone just trying to get a grip of the track and trying to get themselves kind of fielded into a position. Let's see what will happen later on right now. Down and about on the back straightaway here. A little bit of a 3-wide salute there. You saw there right behind him. Looks like that was the 486 there being manned by John Esbalda Jr. there. And he managed to make a nice little run and a half around there of James Santonio and Noah Owens in the 15. The 79 Santonio right now doing everything he can just to stay out of trouble and stay out of the way. That's why he's kind of playing up on the high side there, kind of playing more into the middle ground. Not trying to get anything majorly going for himself. He's just kind of trying to get a feel for the track, you get a feel for how he's going to run in here. You can see it right now, the internet issues are going to plague Brog Zavalti. That is definitely not what he wants to have happen. Running it through here, a little bit of troubles there. We got big problems, big trouble. The 15 there, Noah Owens, comes to a complete halt there out of turn 2. Or 4, I should say. He had a lot of momentum and then all of a sudden switched which way left and which way right. Managed to save it, but that definitely cost him a lot of ground and time up. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him later on. On board here with Christopher Double L Lawrence, that 9 Chevrolet right now, trying to move the Camaro up in position while he's got the 83 of Harold Bud Barnes the second. Right in the area, boy, right fielding it back in as they come down the backstretch. Drivers obviously coming from all walks of the light, all walks of iRacing scenery and showcasing, trying to give themselves the best lines, the best area, the best plays for themselves and others. So far, it's been kind of quiet on the big runs here. So far, it's been more of a just kind of a stay in your zone, stay in your play here, and hope everything works out in the end. I do appreciate you guys that have come in here so far and tuned in with us early on. It's great to have you all on board. I will join you with the comments section here in a minute. We're just kind of trying to add in the last things that we forgot to get set up because we were kind of in a rush here to get everything fixed up. Once the lobby opened, it was pretty much just a rush to get everything live and set. Right on around out of turn 1 into 2. You can see Harold Bud Barnes the second going to work there on Christopher Double L Lawrence, the number 9. That Mountain Dew Code Red machine. That's a Baja Blast of Brandon Browning there in the 48. Still has a pretty sizable distance up in the position. And you see that 97 as well there of Brock Salvati right now. Currently, he is still dealing with the north face issues in that car and in that area at the moment. We'll see if that haunts him later on here, but currently he's just fighting the car off, trying to stay out of trouble zone. No real major issues yet to speak of, and I think that's the way they want to keep it out there. But again, you know, there's no telling sometimes what will happen here when those runs get in later on, and when these battles come even quicker. It's really just going to be a matter of who can pace themselves more and who can run harder than the other when it comes to that later half. But again, this is 40 laps to the distance, and this is pretty much all but a duel to try to take down each other and try to take everyone out at the same time. But we will say this real quick, folks. We will have duel number 2 live on the stream here, so we're not going to jump cut around anywhere. We're going to basically jump into a little commercial break when duel 2 is about ready to start up, and we will be ready in there. That north face 97 there is just having all sorts of problems there, and the reason why he's blinking in and out, folks, all too well known around here, of course, is unfortunately there is a little bit of an internet connection, a little issue in the car, and obviously when that happens, that's going to really set you up for a really bad interface of runs, and it doesn't help you very much right now. On the front straightaway coming into turn 1. Now you see the 98 there of Jeremy Richmond, man. He's not giving up anything too much on these guys. He's starting to really gain some ground and pull ahead a little more. If he can get something going a little bit better, I think he has a pretty good chance here to show off what he's capable of out there. But right now he is kind of in the middle of the pack, kind of dealing with the drivers here in that side-by-side line. You see the 83 about ready to break my camera in there. There, old Bud Barnes, I told you not to break that camera when we were coming out of the corners into the straights there, man. You got to leave my cameras alone, dude. I paid good money for those things. I don't think he really cares. And speaking of not really caring here, Christopher L. Lawrence doesn't really care that Brandon Browning has been in the race lead for about 10 laps or so. He's been the guy to beat so far, but you can see right there, Lawrence is starting to push a little further ahead. As the 98 of Jeremy Richmond's just kind of giving him that nice strapped in line to the pocket to show on through and try to build the momentum to get through in those corners and in the turns. It's really just been a matter of who will be able to hold out when the big run comes later on. Because make no bones about it, when you get to that final 10 laps there, that's when you really got to watch out for and really watch for the times to come and change at you. And now I'm getting words from the producers that we are finally situated out the way we should be and the way we should be taking things in here. So thank you again, guys, for letting me know about that. So I finally get to join you guys here in the comments section. Get to see you guys here in all your glory here. Great to see everybody here. Looks like Ryan Sizemore tunes in here with us saying, let's go Noah Owens, representing Sizemore Motorsports well. And then D.D. Leidig is saying, let's go Brock. Running on for, of course, Brock Savati. There in that 97 right now. He's got a bit of a run going for himself here, but he's still dealing with the runs coming from behind him, of course. You see that 46 of John Espalda Jr. If he can start to make some moves here, I think he might have a shot at it. James Antonio and Wesley Jennett are moving their chains in a little more and starting to push forward here. And now Savati, he makes a run up to the front here as Jeremy Richmond makes the pass in the Whataburger. Number 98, Camaro. I wanted to say Silverado. I'm realizing I'm not talking about the trucks from earlier. Out of turn 4, though, and you can see a little bit up close and personal goes Browning to Richmond. Richmond kind of cornered up a little bit and gave him a little love tap there. No damage or harm caused here. So far, so good. Clean as can be. And there's still quite a few laps here to still contain and still finish out here. Now, just a heads up, we may have to actually jump cut from this to the next race or so. So if it does happen, because they have it on a time schedule, They've set it to 8:20 Central, 9:20 Eastern time. So if somehow the race does not finish up within that range and we can get everything fixed in that way, we will then change it up and make sure that we can get the live stream ready to go for the next one. So we may end up just doing the photos right there and then for duel number 1. So just be aware of that, folks. As they field it back around down the front straightaway here, though, Brandon Browning in that 48 and Baja Blast Mountain Dew machine, man, he has just been laying into it around the code red number 9 of Lawrence. But Brock Savati has absolutely hanged in there with him. Despite the troubles in the North Face, he's been fighting a little bit. And Browning sees him coming. He goes up to the high side there on the backstretch. Makes a jump up in position, trying to keep him out of his area and keep him out of his play. But right now, Browning is going to have to do everything he can to try and secure this one away from him here. Side by side, he takes it there with the code red Mountain Dew there of Lawrence here. Still has a pretty sizable distance and a sizable run in his area. Now we're getting word from the producers they don't think that's the Baja Blast. Well, if it's not the Baja Blast, what is it then? Oh, my bad. That's the black version of the Mountain Dew. How was I supposed to know about that? I can't remember these things sometimes. I don't drink pop no more. So, for those that are Baja Blast drinkers, I apologize. I currently cannot read on a car, nor can I, barely do I know what a soda is anymore. So, my apologies. John Herbert Dillinger saying Jack Dowel Motorsports in the building. Great to have you on board, sir. And yes, I know your actual name, but I'm just going to keep reading the way you got on your Facebook profile, bud. 24 laps remain here right now for the drivers. Everyone's still in a pretty sizable lead and sizable distance here. Everybody doing their own thing, their own style, just trying to hang in with them and trying to get something going for themselves. Field Brow coming around down the front straightaway here. These drivers, the stars in the cars right now, in duel number 1, that is, of the Daytona Duels. Currently, as I call it, the Duel Fates. All in their area, all in their line of sight, and trying to hang in with one another. Some sizable racing here from these guys. Despite the fact there's only about 13 drivers on the track, we're used to calling it with like 20 so or them out. No room for error here. There you see that 79 there comes about up on the high side. James Antonio thinks he's got a run here coming there from Brandon Browning. Browning's going to try to hold him off here and seal it in. William Brusman Jr. is in as well. Back by on the front stretch down into turn 1. Browning right now still holding up Christopher Lawrence despite having to switch lanes completely here. Quite interesting to say the least how everything went to be for all these guys, but man, it's just been hard to really imagine what's going to be going for the minds of these drivers and the minds of their area when it comes to the big battle coming up very soon. Of course, the All-Star race, another thing that will definitely be playing a factor into the racing here soon enough here for these drivers as the season is vastly approaching. Of course, their first mainstay race will be next week air back at Daytona. They will have the race, as they call it, the virtual Daytona 500. That will be their main kind of their idea and area play. And then right after that, on February 26th, we'll have Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we all started with them, basically, and where it all came to be for these drivers. But, of course, this is the Duel of Fates here for their week here, trying to get themselves situated in a proper spot, in a proper area, and giving themselves a fighting chance to be in the Daytona big race come next week to start the season off. As that 46 of John Esposito Jr., man, he is hanging in there, starting to push it up there into the momentum, pushing into the zone. He's got that 9 of Christopher L. Lawrence there in his sights, and you can see right there That there you see a little bit of movement in the back. That's because they're going down pit road. Brock Savalti and Jeremy Richmond have entered into pit road. They will be the first to do so. As we're past the halfway point here now, we'll see if that comes back to haunt him or if it comes back to be a favorable area. If you've never been in iRacing and you've never done anything like what you see right now, you're probably wondering at home, why did they go to pit road when they have like no help or anything like that? Well, here's the thing. These drivers do have tires that burn up and fuel that loses a lot of time and pressure. And if you're not careful, you run out of fuel and you run out of tires. And all of a sudden, you're going to have nothing you can do about it. As the yellow flag comes out, caution is out here. See if we can get an idea what happened here. A little bit of smoke out of the field here. Nothing special, though. I'm not seeing anything on my end here. So now with the caution out, I believe that was the caution, something like that. I believe that was the stage caution or a stage break there for the drivers. So that will give us a second here to go ahead and give a word to the sponsors, of course, here. So folks, do not go anywhere. When we return, we will see the end of the first duel, duel number 1 in the, as we call it around here, the Duel of Fates here at Daytona. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, as I mentioned before, here tonight, of course, the race for the Duel of Fates here at Daytona International Speedway of Daytona Beach, Florida, has been brought to you in part by the good friends over at Jack Dowel Motorsports, by Grid Finder, by AJ's Hotspot, by SpimSpeedShop.com, by Splash and Go Graphics, by Blackgate Security Agency, by SimSnap.com iRacing Photography, by the ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. As they wanted to know, as the folks at BackFire Sim Racing would like to tell the sponsors, thank you again for helping them out and get this show on the road here and giving them a chance to really showcase what they are capable of and what they will bring to the table throughout these series and throughout these races. They do appreciate you guys, appreciate the help and support. Yeah, right now after that caution, right now currently, well, I would say right now the favorite on the restart would appear to be Christopher Lawrence, but I'll be honest with you folks. I think with that little pit stop that Jeremy Richmond and I believe it was Brock Savalti made, I'm about to believe, honestly, they may have a little bit of something for him here if it all plays out the way they need to. The reason why I say that is because I think that they might have got a little bit more fuel and a little more tires under there, which may help them out later on if they need to get a full run in there and a full throttle assault ahead up to the position. We'll see how that all plays out here. John, don't worry, bud. We got word of that from our end as well. We will add that little thing you just added in a minute to the next duel. We don't have time to go ahead and jump into the next. We don't have time to add that into our area here, unfortunately. Once you're pretty much on the show, then you're pretty much on the show. It's just go from there. But don't worry, we'll get them in there. So we'll have about 15 laps remaining. Once we get things finally put back to use and put the drivers back into their spots they are supposed to be in. But my question is to everybody around here, who do you think is going to have the run in the spotlight here on the start? to really get set up for that feature come next week here at Daytona. That's going to be the main thing I'm going to ask you guys at home. Who do you think has the advantage and who has the better looking ride out there to really hit things up? No worries, John. All right, well, I'll let you guys decide that in the comments, and while I find out that apparently up on NASCAR's actual end here, they ended up having a wreck on the first lap for the Truck Series at Daytona. That's pretty funny. We are still live here, and no wrecks are really big issues yet. Obviously here for the BackFire Sim Racing Duel of Fates here. This is Duel number 1 on your screen right now currently. Duel number 2 is to follow here at the end, and we'll see how it all plays out for them as they come across here down the front straightaway here. The green flag flies. It's back underway here to finish this. Randy Richmond joins us in here. My little brother Jeremy out on the track. He is saying it's great to have you on board here, Randy. And I know it's definitely one of those things, a little bit nerve-wracking as a family member to watch your driver out on the track or watch your guy, your gal, your brother, sister, loved one, don't matter. It's kind of nerve-wracking to see them race out there because all you want to do is just root them on and help them. But, you know, the only thing they can do is just help. It's the only thing they can really figure out is make sure they have the right crew, the right timing, the right spots, and make their moves when they need to. And that's exactly right now what Brandon Browning has been doing all day long. He's been a sizable favorite here on these starts and on these runs here. He has not given up anything just yet to one another, and that seems to be the case here still. Back by out of turn 1 into 2. Everybody's still in a hot spot, a hot position here as they work them around here on the back straightaway. We will talk with drivers as we go through our field here tonight. Don't worry, we haven't forgot about that. We got a little caught up and trying to take care of some other things, so we'll talk with the drivers at the end. We'll give we'll try to talk with a few of them here before we get to the top 3, obviously. Right now down on the front straightaway here, though, you can see Christopher Double L Lawrence in that 9 Mountain Dew Gold Red Machine trying to take on the black of Brandon Browning's Mountain Dew Black. I don't remember what it's called. Someone in the chat, please let me know like what the Mountain Dew Purple Black version is. I can't ever remember those things. I only know the Code Red, the regular Mountain Dew, and the Baja Blast, which I think is a Taco Bell exclusive. I don't know, man. I'm so bad with pops these days that I just don't drink them anymore. Well, speaking of being bad at the track, and I personally right now I'm seeing a little bit of some bad hounding here from John Esposito Jr. That man right now looking like a bad man in that car. He is running in hard and strong as can be out of turn 4, rocketing his way back up to the front. He's a hard charger right now, up 3 spots. Currently, James Santoyo up 4 spots from where he started in the field. Puff of smoke there out of the cars there. Might have got a little too close to the yellow line there on that spot there for John Esposito. Doesn't seem to be phasing him out too much, though. Doesn't seem to be hurting him at all. 13 laps remain here, and the time is starting to elapse. Starting to eclipse away here. Purple Drank. That's the... All right. Thank you there, John. I appreciate it, man. So the Purple Drank 48 of Brandon Browning there is what I was told, but I'm still just going to call him the Purple Mountain Dew Machine. Harold Bud Barnes, the second there in the 83 right now, trying to, if you will, find a gap, find a little position there on his zone. You can see him right there in on that front straightaway as he comes in, trying to kind of hold that car right behind, perfectly aligned with that little vacuum of space there and that little run that comes from the draft here. The only way to really truly get that car to take clean air and perfect the spot where he needs to is to have a little bit of help and a little bit of power from the front end. Oh no, he's just kidding. Okay, very, very funny, John. And right now you can see that Harold Bud Barnes is doing all he can to catch that draft, to catch that spot up. Noah Owens there in the 15 as well. He's a D-class driver, but right now he's looking pretty solid out there. Give credit where credit's due to the kid. The SAF 15 Chevrolet right now has been putting up some momentum here up on the driver, as the old Camaro man has been definitely having his way on these starts and on these spots, and he's been pushing it pretty hard there up to the front. He's up 2 spots from where he started out earlier, but I think the biggest thing right now for him is he's just got to stay focused and really keep an eye on that line, especially that 79 at Rogers Chevrolet Camaro right on his outside there. As you see here on the logos part for the cars here, there's not a lot of diversity when it comes to how many are out there. A lot of them are driving the Chevrolet Camaros as their choice of car, but there is a Ford F Mustang and a Toyota Camry in there. So you can't say there's nothing too on a diversity out there. As you see right here on the onboard camera here with Zach Woods. Well, you can just see the power that comes off of that car. He is just absolutely laying into it when he has to. But you can see also right now he's actually kind of staying away from the field a little bit. I don't know, maybe he's saving the tires up for one big run in position and just hoping that'll come later. Or maybe he's just thinking maybe there's a way to make a jump up to the front here with the later half of this one coming to be. Hard to say right now, but with only 9 laps remaining, there is not a lot of time to be making mistakes out here, much less not doing any big moves when the time comes. Close corners, side-by-side racing. One thing Daytona International Speedway is well known for and well regarded for as well. Biggest difference in Talladega is that you don't have as much room to breathe on when it comes to making 3 wide salutes, but you do have a lot of spacing in between to make big jumps and big spots up. It's really just a matter of where you choose to line now. I've been told earlier today the driver said the bottom line seemed to be a little bit more hard on the throttle and a little harder on the cars to get a push off of, but the outside line has a little bit of ground and a little bit of clearance. If you can get the right driver there and on that outline in that position, they have a pretty good chance to get it to push forward more and really hit up there. That was what I was told earlier today. And that seems to be the case there for Christopher L. Lawrence and Brandon Browning. Brandon Browning right now, man, he has just been on a rail on his game. Not giving an inch to anybody out there, but right now Lawrence seems to have a little bit more momentum on the backstretches here. The Mountain Dew Code Red Camaro there of Lawrence right in the sight of just John Esposito Jr. there. Up 2 spots from where he was at, but James Antonio right now, right to the right screen of your corner here. He is currently up 5 spots now, currently up into the 3rd line. They will whip him around, sidewind him out of turn 1 to turn 2. And you can see just all that power and momentum, 750 horsepower, these Cup cars just being pushed to their absolute limit, just pushed to the extreme corners of the stretches here. Each one trying to make a jump, trying to make a move. 6 laps will remain once they come to the cross finish line here. And in my opinion right now, the top 2, Lawrence and Browning, look to be the odds-on favorite to take this one home. But again, we have seen a lot of crazier things happen on this show. There is the 83 of Harold Bud Barnes a second. You can see him just kind of whipping it around, shaking it with and right. And I don't think he's playing the game shake it. I think he's trying to just get a little more momentum put up there on 79 of James Santoyo right in front of him. But he can't seem to get the run that he's looking for either. And it seems to be setting it back a little bit. And Zach Woods in that Toyota Camry right now is looking pretty solidly pushed up to the front, pushing up to the position. He's up 5 spots from where he was at earlier. The hard charger of the night so far. 5 laps to go. And right now, Brandon Browning, he still has a sizable lead, still a sizable distance up on Lawrence there when it comes to the amount of speed you usually carry here at Daytona. I would not say sizable lead being like he's got a huge lead. He's just got enough of a run there. Kyle, the Speed Demon Speed, saying watching poolside in Florida, the 500 Sunday. Kyle, first off, I'm jealous. Well, congrats there, man, and hope you're enjoying yourself. And thanks for tuning on in, bud. You see a little bit of movement out of turn 3 there. Looks like the 79 Centoio getting up there with Barnes a little bit. Barnesy almost setting him for a ride there. Could have ended in disaster. It does not to be. Now down to the final 4. Ooh, a little bit of contact there on the front straightaway. Looks like Centoio gave a huge little bump and a half to John S. Buwalda Jr. Buwalda, man, took a huge lick and a half there, and a 3-wide salute initiates there coming out of turn 2 all of a sudden. Wesley Jennett, man, he made a big jump and a spot up in position, and that might have been the run he was looking for all day long. He's been trying to get that car to really fire away and fire in position. And it seemed like that snap-on tool 74 might have just found it, but he's still got that 57 of Clifford Corrivier right there in his line of sight. Final 3 laps remaining here right now, and Centoio is doing everything he can to try and hold it in and hold him off. Little bobble there from Wesley Jennett. Not sure, maybe the car was getting a little sidewindy, a little loose there, but it's not holding out as well as I think they would like it to. Wesley Jennett right now doing everything they can to get the Ford Mustang up in position, up into the spot, a little harder on the run, trying to hold them off. Well, the green flag's going to be flying this time by Brandon Browning there, and Christopher L. Lawrence are going to have to go to war with one another, though. But there's a little bump there from John Buwalda there and Browning. That might have set a different tone for them coming down on those turns there. We'll see what happens here. But it's going to get a little more intense now. They've got to be careful about that with these final 2 laps. Anything can happen here at Daytona. As they wheels it back into the back straightaway here. A hard run and a half here coming from the back. They're trying to line them all up. They're trying to see who can get a better run here. But I guarantee you, if a 3-wide salute comes into play and comes into contact, I guarantee you there's going to be some contacts here. Browning is doing everything he can to get a push on the outside line. It's just not sticking the way he wants to. Duel 1 is at stake. The white flag comes out. And if you called that finish right there, folks, that would have literally gone to Browning. Browning had him by about 0.06 of a second. About a half a car length there. Right back on through. Whoa! Trouble there. Problems out of turn 2. Barnes gets into it, and the 15 is all over the place. Noah Owens not able to save it, but gets into contact, Tori, with the other drivers. There are only 4 left looking for the win. Coming down out of turn 3, they'll bring him back around one more time. John S. Buwalda Jr. trying to push it through. Christopher Lawrence needs to try to hold him off here and try to hold off that run coming from Brandon Browning on the outside with Antonio behind. Coming to the finish line, though. Contact's made there on the front to the finish. I don't know how you call that, but it's going to John S. Buwalda Jr. What a finish. Wow. Oh, my. I don't think we've ever seen a wreck literally right there at the finish here at Daytona, but I think you just got a whip of it right there. John S. Buwalda Jr. is your winner in duel number 1. Holy smokes, holy cow. We're going to go and take a look at that replay. That is for sure. And John Buwalda, man, I know it says junior, but he's the dad, of course, of one of the other drivers is here in a little bit. But, oh, man, I got to believe he's got to be stoked in that car right now. He's got to be hooping and hollering. He has to be happy with that one. What a finish. We talk about crazy finishes and crazy runs all the way through, but that right there, my friends, is one of the craziest things you'll see. That was a heated race up to the final lap and that final stretch, about 500 feet to victory. And Buwalda managing to stay out of that contact zone, goes to the bottom and makes the jump when he needs to. Takes it home for the Jack Dowel Motorsports 46 machine. But now I think it's kind of obvious what we need to do next year. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that replay here. We need to see where the heck everyone was at coming to the line there. That was insane to say the least here, and I don't think I've seen a finish like that in quite some time. So we're going to go back and look at that lap here from our point of view and our angle here and see what exactly happened between Lawrence, Centoyo, and Browning. Here is a PTM Instant Replay now and all of its glory. This is the final lap, folks. Watch carefully as they run this one through to the end. This final lap just saw a lot of craziness there, but this, I think, is going to be one of the craziest finishes you'll see on the show for quite some time. Unless that Duel 2 has something even crazier, which I don't know how you're going to top that, but that was a great race there. Let's see what happens. So Toyo goes into the 3 wide, so he tags Browning. Browning gets into it, and just like that, all of a sudden, Bawalda takes it, and by a matter of inches, manages to stay clear of it. You're going to go ahead and we're going to pop that through just a little bit more here. See if we could slow down this field just a little bit here. Doesn't look like we're quite able to do so on our end. Let's go ahead and stop right about there and see if we can get a good glimpse of that. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. I'm still trying to figure out these camera angles here, folks, but that's pretty much how it looked right there at the end. You can see the distance and position that was right there at the end. These guys, not by much and not by far. That was just a crazy race to say the least here. Sorry for the noise volume there, unfortunately. John Bawalda takes it home to victory lane, folks. And what a finish it was here for him. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our race results here now. Up on the screen here for the scoreboard. John S. Bawalda Jr. wins it. Lawrence second. Third goes to Centoyo. Fourth to Brandon Browning. Fifth to Noah Owens. And sixth to Clifford Courier. Seventh to Zach Woods. Eighth to Wesley Jennett. Ninth to Harold Barnes II. 10th to Braxa Valti. 11th to Simon Morrison. 12th to Brandon Mascarella. And then 13th to Jeremy Richmond. Rounding out your field here for this one. And we are going to go ahead and talk, of course, with our top 3 here. But first, let's go ahead and also have a quick chit-chat with some of the drivers here and see how it all played out for them here in this one. There's a lot of folks that I feel as though we definitely need to have a chit-chat here with and see how it all played out. From Sizemore Motorsports, real quick, this is Noah Owens here on the call here. And Owens, man, I don't think this was quite the finish you were looking for. What happened down on that backstretch, man?
I don't know what ended up happening. Zane just got a bit loose. I don't know if he got into him up front in front of me, but he just kind of went around, and I was just trying to push on to finish it. And then I guess I got into a few other cars, and things got a little hairy, but managed to keep it and at least get a top 5. So I'm not exactly happy how it turned out, but happy at least I got top 5.
For sure there. I mean, at the end of the day, though, this is Daytona. These duels can be a bit crazy and all over the place, and that ended up kind of playing out the way it happened. But nevertheless, Noah, it was still a strong finish, and you managed to take home 5th. I got to believe that's going to be a little bit of confidence going for you coming into next week's major main event there for Daytona.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to help me out going into Daytona. But I want to thank my team, my sponsors. Without them, I wouldn't be able to get to this point as it is. So I'm looking forward to the 500, and I think it'll be a good race.
For sure there. Well, Noah, we do appreciate you taking time to talk with us here. Congratulations on the top 5 finish, man, and hopefully you can bring some home for Sizemore and Motorsports next time out.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Noah is there in the 15, taking the time to talk with us here as we will now bring in our 4th place finisher here tonight, Brandon Browning, in the number 48 machine. All right, he now joins in here with us here. This is Brandon Browning there in the 48. And Brandon, that was a bit chaotic to say the least here at the end.
Yeah, man. I shout out to my teammate, first of all, Christopher Lawrence. We had a plan coming in, and we really kind of showcased our stuff here on the plate track. So we're looking forward to the 500. We had some guys that didn't really like the way that we qualified, but hopefully we showed them, we belonged where we qualified.
For sure there. I mean, with everything that's going to be going down here next week, is there really anything big time that you're going to be focusing on here with the way the car is set up and the way the track has been?
No, just working with my teammates at Rebel Racing, trying to make these beautiful Mountain Dew paint schemes, make sure, they stay clean and green and out front. Regardless, I'll still be bringing them to green next Friday night. I actually qualified on the pole, so Was trying to get a win there for Christopher Lawrence and try to bring him, into the next round or second row, starting behind me rather.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, Browning, I think you did a pretty good job to help him get to that spot, just coming in second place. But it just kind of, with all the chaos and madness that happened there with Centoio and Balalda, just wasn't quite enough to give him the win. But nevertheless, still a good, strong finish for you. So what do you want to say here in this top 4 finish for everyone tonight?
I just, kind of want to prepare the guys. We want to bring everyone's best out. Certainly, Rebel Racing is going to bring their best out this season. Again, shout out to my teammates, Gartner, Hubka, Spees, and Lawrence. So looking forward to the season. Also, a shout out to my wife. She's kind of impatient with me and allowed me to come and run this race. It was close coming in at the end, but she made sure that we got in.
It was indeed. Well, nevertheless, Brandon, still, I would think she's a bit of a keeper. She's able to hold up with you there, man. So, nevertheless, congratulations on a 4th place finish, and we'll catch you out here next week, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for broadcasting this for us. I'm sure that was fun to watch.
It was definitely quite an interesting finish, to say the least. One of our fun stuff we like to call around here. So, thanks again for that, bro.
Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely. Brandon Browning there in the 48, your 4th place finisher here tonight. Now we're going to go ahead and talk with the 3rd place finishers here tonight. And we'll see how Centoio felt about that one, because I think, in all honesty, he's probably thinking, well, man, I tried to run it a little harder, but I wasn't exactly expecting that. Or at least that's my theory he's going to say here. I don't know. See if he is in with us right now, and it does not appear he's actually there at the moment. So, nope. So I guess we're just going to have to throw the title card up for him here tonight and just let him have his due. So he will not be joining us here to talk about his finish. But we do have other drivers we can bring in and talk with here, of course. That being, of course, now Christopher L. Lawrence and the number 9. He will be our next contestant here up on the show. So, Lawrence, congratulations on 2nd place finish here, man. And, oh boy, I got to believe you were aiming for that win, but unfortunately it just kind of fell short there at the end with Balalda and Centoio.
Yeah, we were running up front for most of the race there. It was unfortunate we didn't come home with number 1, but, that's just tough racing at Daytona. That's usually how it works.
It does indeed. And we were kind of talking about it here right before you guys came to those final laps. We said anything can happen on this finish. And, well, I hate saying it, but it did. And that was one of the more chaotic versions of it. But, I mean, still, nevertheless, it was still a strong showing on your end, to say the least.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody coming out today, racing in this first duel. We got the second one coming up here shortly, right after. These guys are tough competitors, so it's always a toss-up who's going to come home with the win.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, going into next week here, you got yourself some time and patience to go and a lot of runs to play out. Who do you want to thank here for tonight, and what do you see going into the future here for next week?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting on a great broadcast for us, and a huge shout out to Dowel Motorsports for putting on the 250 at Daytona. The Dowel 250 is going to be a great show. We got a couple sponsors: ButtKicker, Splash and Go Graphics, AJ's Hotspot, Grid Finder. I want to thank those guys for helping us get this league together this year. It's going to be a good year.
For sure there. Nevertheless, here, Lawrence, congratulations on that 2nd place finish, and we sure hope to see you very, very soon. Come next week, man.
Hey, thank you. We'll hope to see you soon, too.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2nd place finisher here tonight there, Christopher L. Lawrence now. As we go ahead and bring it to our final driver of the night here, John S. Balalda Jr. in the 46, and I got to believe he's on cloud 9 right now after that finish. So let's go ahead and bring him in. And he is now ready to go here with Finn Robinson Motorsports here. This is John S. Balalda Jr. in the 46. And John, 1st place finish and a strong showing, to say the least here, man. That right there was a finish for you.
Thank you. That was great.
Now, talk me through that last lap. You were coming down there on the bottom. You were starting to get a little bit more momentum to try and sway your way. But then all of a sudden, you saw the contact was made there on Centoio to Lawrence. And as you're right about the finish, at any time did you think you were going to win that one? Or did you think, I'm just hoping, oh man, just hope I don't get caused in this wreck here?
All of the above. I didn't want to get caught up into a wreck. I was okay with pushing Lawrence across the finish line. But, I was also keeping aware of what was going on around me. And, yeah, they wrecked, and I went to just a little bit on the inside of him, and I took the win. Yeah. you know, sometimes you got to be lucky also.
That definitely seems to be the case here at Daytona. Being luck is the name of the game, but that still takes a lot of skill out there to even get to that point and managing to survive all that goes down. And you were able to master and perfect that here in the first duel. So, John, I gotta ask you, man, who do you want to thank you for this one?
Well, Illinois Spice Company for sponsoring us. Jack Dowel Motorsports for the team that we've built. My spotter, Finn Robinson, I couldn't have done it without him. He was guiding me along. And just a great race, a great team that we have. And the sponsors, Illinois Spice Company. It's just awesome.
For sure there, man. Nevertheless, here, congratulations, and we'll hopefully see you very, very soon come next week with maybe even end up being into victory lane one more time. You think you got one more big run under your belt ready for that?
I know I'm ready for another big interview. Yeah.
We'll get you in one way or another, man. Nevertheless, congratulations, and we're going to see you very, very soon around here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, John Espawalda Jr., to round out the first winner of the Duels, Duel of Fates. This was duel number 1, as you see on the screen here. But nevertheless, here, folks, duel number 1 is in the books, which means duel number 2 is coming at you shortly here. So before we go real quick, we do want to say before we cut this stream off for this one, that the BackFire Sim Racing boys would like to thank in large part their sponsors, of course, here tonight, Jack Dowel Motorsports, Grid Finder, AJ's Hotspot, SimSpeedShop.com, Splash and Go Graphics, Blackgate Security Agency, SimSnap.com, iRacing Photography, and the ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing as big sponsors and helps out to the shows and out to the runs here for these drivers as they are still waiting for their next race. Duel number 2 is coming your way here in the Duel of Fates in about a half hour or so. So, folks, do not go anywhere. Stay around here on your chats and stay around on the internet. We'll be back up here in shortly. We gotta cut it off here for the moment. But for now, we'll see you here in just a little bit. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you here in the next one shortly. Thank you again for tuning in for duel number 1. Duel number 2 coming your way here in just a little bit.